Good morning. My name is Gabe Zollner. I'd like to take some time, if we could, this morning and talk about our Secretary of State, Hilary Clinton, specifically her most recent visit to Morocco. And this is where she discussed the video that was supposedly caused the Muslims to riot. And one of the comments that she made was, Islam is a great religion. Now, that's an interesting statement for someone to make when one considers what Islam seems to be all about. For example, there's 28 countries in that part of the world that practice mutilating women's genitalia. There is in excess of 100 to 140 million women that have experienced this, 92 million in Africa alone. What's interesting is one of the reasons that they do this and they circumcise women, if you wish, is because a woman is not supposed to derive any sexual pleasure. Her sole purpose is to give pleasure to her husband. And the removal of the genitalia also, in their minds, would prevent women from straying because they would have very little, if any, sexual desire. What's interesting as well is that if a Muslim wants to marry a child, he can do so, but he can't consummate the marriage until she's 9 years old. Now, in the United States, that would be considered pedophilia, but in their religion, it's perfectly normal. What's also interesting in this great religion that our Secretary of State feels is in fact a great religion is that if a Muslim man wants to marry a woman, what he does is he gives the family a dowry. And that dowry is in payment for them giving him their daughter. Now, the daughter could be 1 or 3 or 5 or 10 or whatever. In either case, what happens is that if for whatever reason the husband decides that he no longer wants his wife, he simply returns her to the family. And then by doing so, he takes back his dowry. And since the family would then have been shamed, they can honor kill her, which is what's practiced on a fairly regular basis. The other thing that I find rather interesting as well is that a Muslim can have 4 wives. He can also enjoy the pleasures of a prostitute, but no more than 1 hour at a time. And if one of his wives decides to wander, then if she's caught being with another man or accused of being with another man, then she's stoned to death. And if a woman is raped and she required to be able to prove that, she'd have to have 4 men that would attest to her accusations. These are just some of the things that this wonderful religion of Islam affords. And the only thing that I think can make any sense as to why Secretary of State Clinton would say something like this is because of her close association with Huma Abedin. She's Hilary's traveling chief of staff. Now, what's interesting with Huma Abedin is that her father, prior to passing, was one of the mucky mucks in the Muslim Brotherhood. Her mother still is, and her brother still is. And interestingly enough, while Huma attended George Washington University, she also belonged to the women's version of the Muslim Brotherhood. So the only thing that makes any sense to me is that with all the time that Hilary has spent traveling with her chief of staff, that she must have been converted, because that is what the Muslims do. If they can't convert you, the other option is they have to cut your head off. So since Hilary still has her head, and since Hilary believes what she obviously said, which is that Islam is a great religion, that gives me no doubt at all that she's gone through the conversion process. Think twice. Think 3 times. Think 4 times before you vote. If we allow this madness to continue, then the American people deserve what they're going to get. And what we're going to get, no one's going to like. Thank you.